ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. At one point, God decides that Moshe is not going to be the one who will lead the Jewish people into the promised land. Actually, there was a threefold purpose. First, get them out of Egypt, break the chains of slavery. Number two, go to Mount Sinai, receive the law. And number three, settle the land of Israel. There is where they would be able to practice everything that is contained in the law. But God decides that Moshe will not do that. Why not? Maybe because Moshe made some errors. Maybe this was a punishment because at one time, instead of speaking to the rock that it should give forth water, Moses went and hit it with a stick. Or maybe because he called the Jewish people rebellious. Or maybe because of something altogether different. Maybe it was necessary to have new leadership to conquer the land. One leader was capable of taking him out of Egypt, but to conquer the land, maybe you needed a different kind of leadership. Whatever the reason was, this was the decision of the Almighty. Of course, Moses himself was in a very bad state. He felt very bad, and he pleaded with God. He realized that God, of course, God's will is his will, and he won't change his mind, but he wanted to express his inconformity with what happened. Maybe he also felt his brother Aaron had sons who were taking over leadership after him, but he had sons, but apparently they were not of leadership quality. God tells Moses, you know, you have to place your hand on Joshua's head. Joshua was one of the disciples of the two main disciples of Moshe. One was Eleazar, the son of Aaron, of his brother, his nephew, and the other one was this man, Joshua. So God does not choose Eleazar, but he tells him, place your hand on Joshua's head. Why not? Who knows? That was the will of God. Maybe God did not want that the priesthood and the kingship should be blended into one person, too much power, because Eleazar was going to be the heir of Aaron. He was going to be the Kohen Gadol, the great priest, the high priest. So that to be the king of the Jewish people, the leader of the Jewish people, maybe was too much. So God told him, place your hand on Joshua's head. The Torah says that Moses placed both of his hands on Joshua's head and blessed him and sort of transmitted the leadership to him. My teacher, Rabbi Soloveitchik, says, God said, place your hand, and he placed two hands. Why two hands? Well, he says, one was really the leadership. The other one was something altogether different. Why was Joshua chosen, really? I think that Joshua and Eleazar are shown to be equal in their knowledge, in their love for the Jewish people, in their quality, in their leadership quality as well. Why choose Joshua? Maybe because Joshua had one advantage over Eleazar. Joshua was always at the side of Moshe. He was his closest friend, the one that lived practically with him. He saw exactly what Moshe did. In other words, leadership is not only to learn instruction, to learn information, to absorb knowledge of your teacher. It's something else also. You see, for instance, how he washes his hands. You see when he gets up in the morning. You see how he dresses. You see how he addresses other people. You see how he studies. You see how he prays, with what fervor. In other words, Joshua not only learned the knowledge, absorbed the wisdom that Moses had, but he also saw his personal habits. And take a look, you know, people who are of the Hasidic bent, they also want to know what their rabbi does, everything he does, how he greets other people, not only his knowledge, but his personal behavior, because your knowledge should somehow affect also the totality of your personality. And Joshua learned that from Moshe. So maybe he was the real heir of Moshe, because not only had he absorbed knowledge, not only had he sat at his feet and listened to all the teachings, just as Elazar, but in addition, he also lived closer to him and could absorb everything that he is. This brings us to a conclusion that it is not only a question of how much information you have, it is also a question of your personal traits. How do you treat when somebody comes to you? Are you stern? Are you friendly? Is there empathy in your attitude towards somebody else? Do you feel with the person? And I think that when you address somebody, he knows exactly what your feelings are. I have one friend, for instance, I remember always. This friend, whenever I talk to him, he's looking all over the place. I feel that he doesn't give me full attention. I feel that at the same time, things are going through his mind. He is thinking of something else also. He is with me, but he's not totally with me. Joshua was totally with Moshe. And this is maybe why he was the true heir of Moshe, and he was selected by the Almighty to lead the Jewish people after the death of Moses.